I'm going to change it to October. There's a typo. Of course, this involves the MATLAB. There is a data set in MATLAB. I'm going to open up. Yeah, actually people, you can see in people also, correct. I will open this up. This is, you're going to open this data set. There is a big data set there, and you're going to work with one variable, one numerical variable. Students should not repeat. So there is a histogram to be generated. There is a norm. I will do a sample of this now. So we're going to do an approximate symmetric distribution and then answer these questions. So it's like each student will do one variable there, and then rewrite the empirical rule statement. Maybe I will show you one, and then we will finish class today. So tomorrow I will start chapter 6, new content tomorrow. Let me open up StatCrunch. Alright, so from the data set from the textbook. Chapter 6. Oh my God, we are working with the first data set. So it is actually from how many? It's actually a very big data set. So it's a huge data set. It's all the way like from, it's like about 3,000 people. So data of across, I think it's across the US. So a random sample of 3,000 people across the US. And then data has been collected, age, race, education, weight. So there are some categorical variable and some numerical variable. We are working only with numerical variable. The empirical rule applies only for numerical variable, because we are talking of mean and standard deviation, all that for numerical variable only. So what you're going to do is you're going to graph, go to first create a histogram. So I'm going to select one of the variable. So there are many variables. Student, you should not, if some student already posted for age, then you have to choose something else. Okay? Don't, otherwise it will be like copying that same thing, because the answer cannot be presented differently for the same variable. So maybe I will choose the iron or something. What is the iron content in their blood? So it's a frequency. This is the overlay. Look here, the display option, overlay distribution, normal. So this will draw a curve about that. So even though it's approximately symmetric, sometimes it may not look symmetric. We are making it look symmetric. Actually, the normal is what is symmetric. We've been using the word symmetric so far. From chapter 6, we're going to use the word normal. That is a more formal word for symmetric. And we also want the mean. Okay, actually mean we don't know. You have to calculate the mean before that. Okay, let me, no need, I will just compute. So I have a histogram. So this is the iron content from 3,000 participants in a survey. Iron content has been collected. It actually gives the mean and standard deviation itself. So the average iron content is 85.9 and the standard deviation is 36.5. So we have this. Let me go back to the, I think you don't need to insert, I don't know if I typed attach, yeah, you don't need to, it's more to be convinced that it is normal. So I'm going to put in hit the reply here. I'm going to hit the reply. So this is like, type the variable. You want to first type the variable so that another student does not repeat the same variable. So iron content. So I should not use that, probably iron level. So that is the variable. And now we're going to mean and standard deviation. So mean and standard deviation I'm going to copy from here. The mean is 85.9 and then 36.5. 85.9 and 36.5. Oh, sorry. Okay, so we have the mean and the standard deviation, and now for the empirical rule interpretation. Okay, so empirical rule is going to be 68%. We have 68%, 95%, almost all. Okay. So there are three numbers. I'm going to put probably a bullet. 68% of people. So interpreted in the context of the problem for the variable. Note that you have to write the empirical rule for the variable you have selected. What does the empirical rule mean with this mean and this standard deviation? So which means that 68%, we are talking of the iron level in probably the blood sample of those 3,000 people, and generalizing it to all the whole population. We are assuming that that sample represents all Americans, and then we're going to generalize the statement. So 68%, maybe I will just put Americans have iron level between 85.9. I actually don't know the units. Maybe some milligram or something, microgram or. Okay, not this. I have to calculate the mean minus SD and mean plus SD. So calculate mean minus SD. So it's good to, you have to do this calculation. You don't need to write, but you have to do this calculation. Only then you can finish the empirical rule. So these four numbers have to be calculated in order to, in fact, the 3SD also. Yeah, you have to do 3SD also. So those 6 numbers have to be calculated. This is you can finish this in like less than 15 minutes. So once you get these numbers, then you can finish this interpretation of empirical rule. So 68% of Americans have iron level between this, whatever, and this. Okay. And then 95% of Americans have iron level between something and something. And then almost all. You can use 99.7% or this. Okay. So finish it off. So this is the this is not much. You can finish this in like less than 15 minutes.